Hello, hello, hello. Yeah, I hope everyone is having a great conference. We've had like diverse list of speakers and amazing lineup of speakers and diverse subject areas as well. I'm hoping everyone present is having a great time. You're building new connections and hopefully you're meeting new friends. I want to thank Jim and the organizers of this conference for also giving me the opportunity to share my experience and share my experience on a project that is kind of dear to us and how Elixir has helped us to achieve our goals in this project. Yeah, so I'm hoping in the next couple of minutes, maybe like 20 minutes thereabout, I I want to share my experience on how we are building a water and sanitation information network hub, and how Elixir has contributed to our team and help us um, succeed. Let me use the word because it's a success story for us, and how Elixir has played that role. So let's get started. So about me, my name is Shuaib Afegbua. So I am the managing partner for Codecraft. We are a software consulting house, and basically we write software for clients, and we work with clients across like 4 continents: in Africa, in Europe, in the Middle East or Asia, whatever that means to you, and of course in the US as well. And this client cuts across both private and public institutions, which I really can talk about on this call. So if you want to connect with me, please you can reach out to me on Twitter, or you can just shoot me a mail through the barcode as well. Yes, that's a shameful plug. All right, so the structure of my talk will center around these three six areas. The first one is the background, why this knowledge hub. The next will be around the necessity of preserving knowledge, why it is important for us to preserve knowledge, especially in Africa, and then why Elixir, why we choose to write in Elixir, and then we're going to look at what we're actually using Elixir for, and obviously we're going to talk about the challenges and lessons that we learned. Why do we this? Do we have like regrets, and what we should have done differently? Oh, yeah, thanks. So let's get going. So let me give a background about the Knowledge Hub, which is a network, an information network of water and sanitation, right? And African Ministers Council on Water, which was formed in 2020 by the ministers of water among the African continent member states, African Union member states. It was formed to create an organization that will promote like cooperation, security, socioeconomic development, and also like focus on poverty eradication among member states. And a means of driving these was through effective management of the continent water resources, and also make provision for effective water like supply services as well. Now, one of the mandates was for them to work with, member states, the countries, partner organizations, international donors, and water service vendor providers, and a whole lot of people. And through this process, a lot of knowledge was being created. A lot of materials were being, a lot of resources were being, knowledge was generated, a lot of case studies were captured, a lot of lessons were learned, a lot of guides and knowledge generally was produced. Yeah. So in about 2020, the idea was to create a platform, an online destination that we collate all this information, and it will act as a central store where this vital information and insight on water and sanitation will be captured, and all member states can access these resources. So what that means is that for individual states, they do have their water resource library, they have their groundwater data, they have case studies, they have reports, they have data generated across from different sector of the continent. But what has been missing is a central location, a central repository that will act as a central hub, or if you can call it like a hub of hubs, or a network of networks to link these libraries together. And that was the goal. That was the goal of this. So if you look at the history of the continent, it boasts of a rich and a long tradition of knowledge preservation. So if you ever grew up in a typical African country, you witness while growing up as a kid, the elders within your family tell you stories, proverbs, and they're like always like statues of cultural relevance, and each of these sacred places and statues and objects, represents an aspect of history that is transmitted from one generation to another. So knowledge traditionally has been transmitted through like maybe oral storytelling, through proverbs, symbolic arts, indigenous writing system in some communities, the use of sacred places like I just mentioned, and object as well. And even as far as 1859 AD, the first university was like founded in Morocco. So it has been like a tradition to actually, create knowledge. It's been a tradition to preserve this knowledge, and it's most importantly, it has been a tradition to always, transmit this knowledge from one period up to another as well. So why is it so important to capture this knowledge? The core purpose is to first of all to capture this knowledge, to document it, and to store this valuable knowledge, which involves information, experiences and insights, so that it can be retained and be utilized in the future. So the whole purpose is access, having this information captured in the right form, preserved for future utilization. This include a lot of wide range of materials. It include, lessons learned. It include like case studies. It include like best practices. Institutional memories, and a lot of document across the continent as well. Overall, the goal was to create like a one-stop platform for accessing relevant information, to reduce knowledge fragmentation, and to enhance knowledge sharing. We had like different countries having the local knowledge repository, which is fine. You have organizations with regional data, but then the idea was to link these knowledge resources and find a central place where people can find these resources, and they will be linked to the silos of knowledge that are stored within different regions of the continent. So this would help, facilitate connection among different stakeholders, researchers and professionals, and it will help like foster collaboration among everyone, and then this could lead to innovation as well. The whole idea was to create like a sort of a global exchange, knowledge exchange, where people can find and share knowledge. So here comes the interesting part, and using technology. What was the goal of the project? The goal was to integrate more data sources from all countries on the African continent and beyond. It was to build a system that can efficiently store, manage, and retrieve information. We also wanted to build a system that we can easily find resources. So we needed to implement proper search functionalities to make it easier to find relevant information as well. And also the goal was to establish a digital database of research papers and policy documents. We wanted to create a digital database of all these resources across the continent as well. And the goal was also to leverage machine learning and for things around smarter search capabilities, recommendation system. We wanted to cater for diversity, so we implemented tools like speech to text, transcription services to help people, voice to text, speech to text, and all that, which I'm going to talk about as we proceed on the call. So along that, so I've talked about building a comprehensive database of water providers as well. We wanted to link all the water service providers within the continent, and so that it can empower the sector players, by creating this connectivity and collaboration among them as well. We wanted to capture case studies about water and sanitation, so to focus to understand the challenges and the strategies and the outcomes that relate to management of water resources, distribution, and even quality of water and sanitation services as well, and all that. Yeah, so it's a long-term project that's still ongoing, and we are very happy, and we're looking to see how we can take the success to the next level. Okay, so the question is, why Elixir? Why we use Elixir for this? Why not Rust? Why not Golang? Why not something else? Why not PHP? There is no a sweet story about this. It wasn't as if the apple fell from the tree and someone picked it and then they realized it became naked. No, it wasn't an interesting story like that. Well, the basic truth was that we knew how to write Elixir. We knew how to write Elixir, and we love writing Elixir. So it was basically us trying to use the tool we know how to write, and we built up and we decided to build a platform with it. And it turned out to be very good because, as I will show in subsequent slides, it became something very crucial to make us more efficient in that. As a team, we're very early. We love bleeding edge technologies. When we started building the first version of the Knowledge Hub, we actually built on LiveView 0.04, very early release of LiveView. It was very early because a lot of the members of the team didn't want to write React and stuff like that. So let's do all Elixir. Let's write front-end Elixir, back-end Elixir. So yes, we kind of witnessed the evolution of LiveView from the early release to the current state where it's more amazing as well. So we're very early on these, and that is it. So how we're using Elixir, what tools within the Elixir ecosystem that we've been using to improve our delivering. At the very top of it is a Phoenix. So one interesting thing about the Elixir ecosystem is we're not spoiled with a lot of frameworks like you have maybe in Golang or in the Node.js ecosystem. So in each of this ecosystem, you likely find like maybe 5 to 10 good libraries to frameworks to pick from, But most time in Phoenix, in Elixir, is always Phoenix. There is Hash, and there's a few couple that are just very small, but like most of the time, Phoenix does the work for you. So we embrace Phoenix, and every good aspect that Phoenix brings to this project. We're building a collaboration platform. We need to support like real-time conversations. So we needed a PubSub, we needed channels. We're very database intensive. We needed Ecto, it was there, and everything just fell in place. So for us, one of our biggest use case, what we used Elixir for was the Phoenix framework itself. And a key core aspect of what we're building is that we're linking resources from different countries. So we're not only just linking these libraries, so we are also indexing this data so that people can move from this hub, find resources from this hub, and link to the actual sources of this hub. So we're also grouping like resources by countries. We're grouping this knowledge by dates. We're grouping this knowledge by even like chronological order by that. What that means is that we need to connect to a lot of APIs, and we also need to link to other repository, and each of these have their own different implementation. Some have standard REST APIs, some XML based services, and we needed to use a lot of tools to do that. And on my left hand side is a couple of tools that we've adopted to do all of these, which are amazing tools within the ecosystem. We love Rec. It's quite simple and straightforward, so most of our API integration were implemented using Rec. We do a lot of crawling the partner's website for data, and we use Crawly, and we also use Hub and Spider-Man. We've been playing around with these resources a lot, and there've been edge cases with each of them, but yeah, it's been like different individuals trying to experiment with project on this. So basically we have to cross some of these other knowledge hubs, the silos of hubs, and ingest that data to our hubs as well. Good. And because we're doing a lot of data ingestion, we needed to process this data. We needed to, first of all, either integrate this data or crawl this data from the sources, and we get this data in the raw form. We need to transform this data, and we need to convert this data to our own internal structs or storage format or DB format. So one of the tools that was so useful while we build these pipelines was Broadway. So we have to create our own producers. We write our custom producers to inject this data, and we use Broadway to manage batching, data ingestion, and every other thing that Broadway brings as well. And as well with that, we're using Urban to do our schedulers and workers and queues, because sometimes we have to schedule when to crawl the next site. And some of the partners, they do like monthly updates, so we have to go through their API at the end of every month to pull in new data, to ingest new data for us to process. So Urban has been a very useful tool in that aspect as well for us. We also do a lot of aggregation of data. It also means we need to provide like search capabilities for our end users. We have embraced a lot of the recent innovation within the ecosystem. So we're doing a lot of embeddings and semantic search, and we're doing text to speech because we wanted to create that alternative for people who necessarily don't have to read. They can listen to those audios. So for each of those reports that we archive within the system, we do extract the content and create like text audio version of those reports as well. So we do a lot of whisper transcription. We're using a Bumblebee to pull some of these models, and we're also using the public AIs as well. So we're using the library Gen AI. It's a relatively new library within the Elixir ecosystem. We're using those tools to talk to Gemini, OpenAI, and other like large language models that exist there as well. It's not all Elixir, but then there are some IO related tasks that we do. So in such cases, we're using some Rust crates, and Rustler as a package has really been quite helpful for us. Sometimes we have very large document that we need to extract text from reports, and then we have to embed those texts in our vector database for searching, for semantic searching and all of that. So the Rustler package and the crates from the Rust ecosystem has really been quite helpful in that regard as well. We also need to generate like cover pages and thumbnails and manipulate images as well across the system. And we found very useful crates within the Rust ecosystem. They were very fast and lightweight to run. And we didn't bother implementing those in Elixir, and we basically took those Rust crates and used Rustler for them, which is another amazing tool that we're using from the ecosystem as well. We're building a lot of real-time communication and collaboration across the system. You know, people have to chat forums, people have to communicate with one another, and we're also looking at video meetups on the platform as well. And of course, there's a lot of emails and communication across people as well. A lot of these we're powering them with Phoenix Pops Up. We also exploring WebRTC and Elixir WebRTC libraries really starting to take shape, and we're following this development. Kudos to the guys building this product. You've been amazing as well. And we're employing these tools to use across our project as well. Also, we store a lot of data storage. You know, we're aggregating resources from different locations, and we have been largely relying on Ecto for most things. We are using a PG vector on Postgres to handle embeddings. We're doing persistence on Postgres for now, and we're using S3 for file storage as well. And because we create a lot of data, and sometimes we have to keep like a temporary cache before processing, we use ETS a lot for those temporary cache for most times. And for now, it has been working well. So most of the time, we're keeping tools within the Elixir ecosystem to build all our infrastructure as we progress along. It's not all been like Elixir all the way. There are tools that are really not Elixir specific. Almost everybody likes Tailwind, at least for engineers like us, one of front-end engineers. We do a lot of CSV parsing, so we use Nimbus CSV as well. I've talked about file storage, so we do the AWS package and Rec as well to push files between our remote storage containers as well. And also we do Spider-Man this is for web crawling most of the time. So what has been the challenges with this? It's been, there hasn't been much challenge. Initially, it was a couple of the new people joining the team were not Elixir, they were not Elixir developers. So we had to train people, but the learning curve was very fast, and people could get up and running in a very short time. And we didn't really envisage how much the AI libraries will consume in terms of the transcription. It took a while to get like good models that would do some of the transcription well. The OpenAI Whisper is fine. The other challenge probably is just sometimes we are spoiled for choice, and some of the libraries were not good, and for that we had to start writing some internal libraries, which hopefully we can push out to the ecosystem to benefit as well. So that's been like our experience in building this knowledge hub in Africa. It's been the first version is being in use. We in the next major water conference, the final version will be released, and at that period we can make like the public availability for everyone that wants to see it. So for those of you trying to build projects like this, or product like this, and you're thinking if the ecosystem does not provide much tools for you to execute, I mean, you can learn from our experience. We're using everything, like almost everything from Elixir. Our backend is in Elixir, our front end runs on LiveView, and everything runs on Phoenix. We're using PubSub, we're using Channels, we're using Ecto, we're using Bumblebee, we're using all these Elixir libraries, and we're basically using a single stack for most things except the Rust package that we're using. And I believe there could be libraries that will do those things in Elixir, but at the time we're processing a lot of heavy documents. We needed to be fast with IO operations and stuff like that. I really wish I could be at the conference to feel how this is going with the audience, and I wanted to keep my talk very short within a short period of time. I hope you enjoy this. I hope you find this quite informing as well. So feel free, if you have questions, you have comments, reach out to me on my Twitter handle, and or you can shoot me an email. Thank you for your time. I'm hoping everyone had a blast on the conference. I'm hoping you guys enjoy yourself, and hopefully we're going to see next conference and discuss more about this project and go into specific details on how we did our implementation. Thank you so much for your time, and have a great day.